Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So just before we get on to Euro USD on the 8 hour, I just want to highlight something here on the monthly. So you can see we've had quite a few months of red bars. We've got buyers come in, and then it just gets pushed further and further to the downside. We've broken through a lot of structure here, but look at our oscillators. We're below the 20 here. This is not something that I would want to be chasing continually short at the moment. So I'd want to be a little bit careful about what's going on. And if you look at what happened last week, we've got a inside bar, and to be honest, I don't know whether that inside bar was off structure. So let's just have a look at that. If we get a gap, it's going to be very far back. No, not really off structure, just in the middle of nowhere. So it's been massive move down. You know, oscillators are pretty much completely oversold at the moment, and it's something that you just need to keep in the back of your mind. Okay, so let's get back to the 8 hour. Have a look at the oscillators. They've separated coming up to the top, so you would expect some kind of selling to come in. Now that is one level there, but I think a level that would be a little bit more comforting would be a bit higher up here. So let's get down to the hours. That's what we want to be trading. This may be the level that we're at. Okay, so you can see everything that happened yesterday. Look at all the sellers coming in yesterday here. We did get a bit of diversions there, which is validated. We've come back into this area. Nothing really to write home about. So first level here is 0.98105. So want to see what happens here at the European Open. If we come back and reject this, there's a good opportunity that this is going to continue to the downside. Just be mindful of the fact that you've got a crossover of the 155 EMA here, and it was defended. So you could also see price looking to come to this area here. You can see that wasn't a decent retest of it, so come into 0.87508 and then bounce the upside. What that's going to do is form a range. So that's kind of the view that I've got. So if we do come back and test this area at 0.98105, the one trade that I see us having here, and it's going to be a 300 odd point stop loss for 530 point gain. I see us coming to this area and rejecting this area. If we get price action on here, and in other words, don't close below the level like this, just touch the level, close above it, get the next bit of price action, which would be an inside bar, engulfing bar, pin bar, then I would expect another move up to this area at 0.98105, and then probably another move up to 0.98749. So pay very careful attention to what's going on here. If we drop below the lows of Friday, that validates a continuation down, and that's a much bigger trade of 0.95358. Moving on to US dollar Japanese yen. All intents and purposes, we're still going sideways here. Nothing really earth-shattering on this chart for me, and it was like that most of last week. And look what's happened. We had a strong move up, but then we sort of had a rejection here. So I'm a bit reluctant to be jumping in long up here. I'd want to see support somewhere, and at this stage it's going to be bottom of the range, somewhere around here, 144254. If we get price action up here, also down here, then I'd be looking for a move up. But this rejection here is a little bit worrying for me, so this is a sit on hand until we see something different. Another interesting one on the monthly is British pound Japanese yen. Have a look at this pin bar. It's actually more of a range bar than a pin bar. Have a look at the monthly diversions here as well. So the question here is, did we come down here to test this area and then bounce off it, or is this a sign of something to come? In other words, the bears got going, and now they're going to really get going. So often you see that on price action, where you see a massive pin bar like that inside of price, and then all of a sudden price drops below it. So there's something to pay attention to. It was pretty much a nothing month, no gains, no losses really, but there was major movement. So for me, Having a look at the 8 hour, you can see a little bit clearer here. You've got all these tails here. I prefer this body to be higher up, but look at my oscillators. Oscillators are starting to group to the upside, and the next thing is we have this major area of potential resistance here that we did close above yesterday, sorry, last week. So what I'm waiting for is a rejection of that. So with all that noise in your head, what are we looking at? You see it looks very similar to what's going on in Euro USD. And what I'd be expecting to see is a rejection of 169.49. So I don't want to see price come down and then basically bump its head up here before looking for that move to the downside. Just be wary of what's happening here on the moving averages and oscillators, massive diversions here. So I really would expect it to move down. If you start seeing price, and this is where it becomes a little bit difficult, so I would argue it's not going to be that far. It's really going to be difficult. I'm going to take these tails here. It's not ideal, but that kind of lines up with the 155. So 158.823. I'd expect us to touch there, bounce back up, reject somewhere higher, and then move down. So that's kind of the view that I've got here. Moving on to Euro British Pound. And yeah, we had a really rough week last week, but have a look at this, the oscillators here on 8 hour. So converse is true here. I would be expecting to see some kind of retest of this area here, and that's where the gap is. And what we're wanting to see is buyers coming in like that is happening now. So if we look at the monthly here, massive monthly pin bar here, and look to the left, nothing new. It's been happening since 2015. Whenever we're in this area, we reject it. So pay careful attention to what you see here. Look at the oscillators as well. And you've also got a little bit of a crossover, but then we cross back in a bullish direction. So lots going on here. This pair has been interesting to say the least over the last couple of months. And the trend is up at the moment. So what you'd be waiting to see is buyers coming in somewhere on some of the structure. If we drop down to the 1 hour, a little bit of a different picture. And we'll just put this level in here. So we've got a crossover of our moving averages at the moment. And we are also we haven't really tested this breakout. You can see nothing had happened on Friday. Test this breakout. So it's short of it. So that's the area that I'd be paying attention to. And look at the oscillators, it's all lining up with that same move. So this is the area I would be looking for something short. That is 088554. Just be mindful of the fact that on the higher time frames, the trend is still up. And you probably find us coming down to close the gap and then bouncing back up. So what you're looking at here is some kind of it's going to be like 300 points stop for 576 point gain. So trading between those levels at the moment. If we do break below, just want to get this level exact because it is fairly strong. You can see there we've tested it twice. If I look to the left, look what's happened there. So if we start breaking below the lows of Friday and come back and test that, then I'd expect us to have a bit of a deeper pullback. But for now, I suspect probably range off the top here, selling opportunity, nice tight stop loss just below the price action. Take the price action off the 15-minute on this level, and then you're looking to come back into this zone. That's pretty much the only trade. It's a range trade in the direction of the trend right now on the 1 hour. But be mindful of the 8 hour, because the 8 hour is a really strong trend to the upside. Anyway, that's kind of my view today. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.